Okay, here we go. We've completed our sketching. We've completed the little demo I did for you this morning, right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to enlarge it to a 12 by 16. As I stated earlier this morning, this is the Kilimanjaro watercolor paper. It's the original bright white 140-pound cold press, and it's 100% cotton rag paper, acid free. Okay, and it's glued to all four sides, so there's no longer, you don't need any more clips with it like I was doing before. And we are going to take this here, and we're going to enlarge it to this here. Now, as time goes along, you can see our cloud formations have changed tremendously here. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to add more clouds in this demo here, in this big demo. The reason I'm going to do that is basically because I can. You can never get everything just exactly the way that you want things, and so this will give me a good idea of what I need, this little sketch. But also what I need to do is, looking at this now, is look at that magnificent big old cloud there. I think that'll even be more exciting than what I have here. So I'm going to still work off of this. This will still have my values of what I need right here in the, it's the interest of the painting, which will be right in this area here. And so what I will do is I will just make more of a white area for that big thunder boomer there, and I'll bring this down to just be a little bit of blue on this corner here. So like I say, the more you paint outdoors, the more you're able to be creative. A few years back, I had the pleasure of meeting Milford Zorn in Los Angeles, in Claremont. I was invited to take some of my paintings over to Milford. He wanted to see my work, and I started shaking, going, oh my goodness, what's Milford going to say about my work? Well, I went ahead and I met Milford. He's a first-class gentleman. He is from the old California school, and we had a wonderful conversation that night, and he said, always remember that if you're going to call yourself an artist, you have to be creative. Okay? Don't draw or paint exactly what you see there. Make it your own. Okay? If you see something out of the composition that you would like to put in this here, well, move it from over here. You're in charge. Okay? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the conversation with Milford. He is no longer with us. He has since passed away, but his thoughts are still with us. And like I said earlier, we all learn from everybody in this business. So always be receptive to what somebody has to say. And all painting is problem solving. So in my classes, as I travel around the country, I'm always interested to see how the students, how they solve a painting problem. Because that's all painting is problem solving. When do we do what at what time? Okay. So I see that I have a very good start right here, and I think I can enhance it by making a bigger cloud. Okay. Also too, what I would do at this time, just for a reference, once I get back in the studio, I'll take a little camera here. These are little throwaway cameras. I'm very hard on my cameras. When this starts going bad on me, I'll just toss it and buy another one. But anyway, it's a very simple little camera, and just for photo references, I'll take a wide view, and then I'll look on the view screen, and then I'll just zoom in on the structures. So I have a pretty good idea for my bigger paintings of what I need. 3 is enough. Well, no, actually, let's do 4. Or let's do 3. I've just done 2. Let's do a vertical of all those wonderful clouds. See what we can get here. Yeah. Oh my goodness, there's a great shot there. Yeah. And I can basically paint this whenever, you know. But we're just gathering information. Okay, we ready? Okay. So that's taken care of. Now, let's get on to the painting process here. Okay. We are going to concentrate on using the Cheap Joe Dragon Tongue brushes here. Back in 2010, I was out with Cheap Joe, and he gave me this brush, and he said, well, Frank, take it home and try it and tell me what you think. And I said, okay. Well, I happened when I got home, it got misplaced, and I found it about a month ago. Before I was coming in here, I thought, well, I better start practicing my plein air painting. And so I found this brush, and it is probably the best brush I've ever used in order to roll the paint on with ease. The paint just seems to roll. Look how thick it is. See how thick it is there? It'll hold an amazing amount of paint. That's what, and look at the chiseled edge on it when it gets wet. It gets a very fine chiseled edge. So with these three brushes here, I can paint this painting here. I have my old brushes I've been using for years. Okay, they're kind of a brush here and a brush there, and here's the American Journey here, and everything. So, but like I say, we will concentrate on using these three brushes here. They have a new material that they're using here. This is I think it's a synthetic and a natural combination. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to get with the people in the store to find out. But okay, I have my sketchbook here, okay, and I will leave that. Maybe I could just put it here so I can see it. Okay, let's stick that there. Okay, this is just going to be a glance. It'll get me started on it, but after a while, as you can see, the painting will take on its own characteristics, and you just have to go with what's right in front of you. Okay, now, okay, I have put new paint in my wells here on this Cheap Joe palette. Now out here in the open, with the sun shining on your colors, they will dry out. It's a good idea to take a squirt bottle and energize them. Okay, don't put too much water in there, but just put enough to energize them. Okay, now let's start very simple, just like I did this here. We'll start we'll be using shapes. As you're going to see here, you will see I do not use any pencil guidelines on my paper, for the simple reason that I don't want to lock myself into a shape. Okay, when you use line, you lock yourself into that shape. Now if I'm painting along here and something neat happens that I'm not planning on, I can always go with it, because I can always come back to my original plan, okay, and go with it. But for those moments that you have watercolor magic, is basically what it's called, when the magic happens, you need to go with it. Okay, have enough faith in yourself. So what we're going to do, let's come up here and let's see, let's start down here like this, up like that. Just roll that paint off of there, on there. Oh yeah, that ought to make a nice cloud shape there. See how nice that paint rolls off of this brush? I mean to tell you. Here we go. Now, you're outdoors, so you got to paint very quickly. So let's soften this edge here. And let's soften this edge here. Okay, let's soften it. Okay, once we do that, now let's go back up here. Let's get some Andrews turquoise, okay? And let's just drop it in here. And we'll see what that does with it. It's a different blue. Look what that does. Ooh, look at that. Oh boy, I can't wait to see what that does. Okay, now watch. On the second application of paint, I had more water content than the first application, and look, it's making a blossom there. That's great. Okay, that's what I'm after. And let's soften these edges, because as you can see with the clouds, there's hard edges and there's soft edges. So you have to get a nice combination of each, okay? So let's pick that bead up there, and I think that'll work nicely there, okay? I like this big expanse I'm going to have up here, and I can come in here and do like the original. This is pretty close to what I have here, okay? As I stated earlier, I do not try to get this and this and this exactly the same, because if I wait and if I do it this way, then I get 3 different pieces of work. Okay, I think that will be fine. Let's do something here. You could, if you'd want, you could use this misting bottle here, this mister. And if you wanted some texture in that, you could take this off, and while that paint's still wet, just squirt a little water on it. And you'd be surprised it'll push the paint away and it'll make it look like an atmospheric condition that you see sometimes. Okay, now look at what happened. Look how simple that was. It's a very direct application. Look how quickly the paint went on the page. The page is the paper. Okay, and here we go. Okay, I just love this brush here. I'm going to see if they make a great big one. I need a great big one that I can use on my big paintings because the paint just rolls off here. Okay, next let's put in the hillside with all the vegetation. Okay, we have all this blue. We have cobalt, we have turquoise blue. Let's just throw a little cadmium yellow in that. Okay, and that'll make a nice start of a nice green. As you can see, I only have 2 greens in my palette. I have mint julep, and then I have phthalo green, Joe's blue, or Joe's green. So we will just start with this, and what we'll do is we will basically start with this shape right here. Okay, let's start here, and we can come up like this and come down. If you hold this brush on its edge like this, you can drag it down, and it'll make it look like there's some trees there, and bring it down. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to start putting in the house shape. Okay, here once again I'm working without a pencil line, so I have to do that. I have to do this, and I'm in the direct sun, which is fine. You just have to paint quicker, and I've been known to paint very quickly. Let's come down here. We need to start that like that. Okay, those are our shapes. Now while that's still wet, let's come back up and let's drop a little something into it. Okay, let's drop different things into it. We're going to get some neat things happening here. Okay, do that. Let's go with this. Okay, and we can come up here if you want to hold that brush on the edge and go up like that, and that will, there we go. Oop, don't worry about that, that will be fine. Just take and wipe that off. What's that old saying? Don't worry, be happy. Okay, okay, now let's change that. Let's add a little orange to that mixture, and it'll make it more of a brown. Okay, we can come over here. I don't like that, so let's get that up into there and down like that. Here we go. Let's put that up and come down. There's that little outbuilding and coming down here. And let's see, maybe I need to run that down a little smaller. You're always continually adjusting in this method here. Okay, that looks great. When you don't draw on your paper, you get the distortion. And I much rather have a painting that's distorted and looks good. Here we go. This will be the barn. I'm going to make the barn a little bit smaller. I changed, and let's go up here with that and go down like that. Okay, I changed the values on here. Let's go here. We go up like that, and over here like that, and then down and go over. I can still come in here, and if I want, I can start putting this in like this. It's very difficult to paint in direct sunlight, but I'm showing you how to do it here. In the perfect world, you don't have this. You don't have to worry about things, but you can't always get what you want. Here we go. So let's over here like that. Okay, we've got some nice things happening here. Okay, and it's similar to that. I know that there's more of a hillside here, but I want that big cloud. I'm going to sacrifice some of this hillside for this big cloud shape here. Okay, now as you can see here, you're painting vertical, and you're going to get these buildups of color. So just there like that. Now what we'll do, I'll go to a smaller, I'll go to this, it's a 1/2 inch, this Magic Dragon, and I'm going to do the roofs for the farmhouses and the barns and stuff. And as I stated earlier, I'm going to make up the colors. As you can see there, the roof and the walls are about the same value, and I want to have more contrast. Okay, well, still wet, we can come down here and just come out like this, okay? Just put that in like that, okay? Pull that over. Okay, now, as I told you earlier, I'm going to leave this white roof. There's a white roof. Oh, and there's a little shed roof that comes off of here, just like that, okay? This here will be just like that. Let's throw a little turquoise, Andrew's turquoise with that. That makes a wonderful, wonderful neutral. Okay, we come down here and we're going over here like this, okay? So let's do this and come down there like that and over, okay? Now, while I still have this, let's just add a little bit of orange and a little bit of yellow to this mixture, and we'll get that barn roof there. Okay, let's come over here and let's just go up like this, like that, down. Okay, now I'm going to use orange, and I'm going to use red, and that will be for the bottom of here. Here we go, like that. Let's just give an indication here, okay, like that. Okay, now what we need to do next, let's go back to our big brush, our big inch here, okay. All this mixture here, just get some straight cab orange, just like that. Pull this over here, mix that here, and we're going to put our foreground in. We're just going to go out like this, and we're going to come straight down, just like this. See how nice that paint rolls off of this brush? It's just unreal how nice this is. There we go. Here was my drip, as I told you, just don't worry about it. Okay, so in essence what we have done, very quickly, work that paint into the paper here, okay, like this. Okay, what we have done, I have mine a little warmer than what's actually there, so if you want to maybe mix the greens that you see out there, we'll mix up some greens and just throw them on top of that and let them do its thing there, see? And when you're painting vertical, that stuff will run down and it'll make a texture there, okay, like that. And now for these in the foreground here, we have these great big bushes and stuff. I have no idea, that might be poison ivy. I have no idea what it is. I best not go out and walk around in it. So just mix up some darks. We can get a blue and a green with just a little bit of red in it. That'll make a nice little, we can put that like this and just do the same thing while it's still wet here, and we can have them run across here like this. And basically what we've done here with my sketch, I'll put that right there. See, this is what we're after right here, okay? And let's throw a couple into here. Now, I'll go to my smaller 1/2 inch right here, and I'll get the same, I'll get that Joe's green with a little bit of yellow in it, and we're going to put all the shrubbery around the house here, okay? And we got like that, okay? So just go right over the top of it with it, and I see there's a great big tree here. See, just put it right over the top of this right here. See, this is already dry, so don't worry about it. What I will do here, I see every now and then that there's a spruce tree of some kind here, and I think we might need to put one here. Let's just run one in there like that. See how easy that was? Here we go. Moving on, I see that I have a great big tree right in front of this. Let's make a dandy tree. If we're going to make a tree, let's do a dandy one. And while this is still wet, throw that in there. Because if you throw it in while it's still wet, then what it'll do, it'll fuse together and it'll look like a watercolor. I'm quite concerned with what's happening in the art world. It seems like the drive to paint watercolors that look like watercolors, everything is going to photorealism, and so we're painting watercolors, so let's make them look like a watercolor. Okay, we're gonna have areas in our painting that will make a mess, but anyway, so see, you just keep working at it and working at it. Now what I need to do here is I need to come back here, And I'll mix up a dark. Let's go with ultramarine. Let's go with alizarin. Make a wonderful purple. Okay. Let's see these trees here. Now in my sketch, they were a lighter value than the hill in the background. I'm going to change that. Okay. I'm going to put a nice dark tree right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to showcase that roof. And that will come out like this. And then that'll go down like that, okay, like that. All that did was it just made this area here pop out, okay? And let's put a few dark areas in there, okay, like that, like that. See, we're getting some nice things here. It's looking a little chopped up here, but I will take care of that when I put my light source on it, okay? Watch for tangents, okay? Go like this, and over here like this. Go like that, okay. Now, there, okay. When I don't draw on there on my paper, I get these distortions here, and that's absolutely what I'm after in a painting, okay. I don't want anything plumb and level, okay. When they're plumb and level, they become boring. It becomes more of an architectural rendering. I want a painting from my heart, okay. So let's come here and let's finish this up, okay. And to me, with the amount of time it takes to do these things, you should be able to do these in 15-20 minutes. If you can keep them simple, okay? Now what we need to do next is we need to come in here and we need to put some calligraphy. And I'm going to go to this brass thing here. This is outstanding. I can't wait to use this on the road. Okay, okay. We'll just mix a dark, okay. Okay, let's go here. Okay, we need some tree trunks. Okay. Like that, go up like this. There we go. All this does is just give it a little interest. Okay, let's go here with this, like this. And we can go out here like that. This is a big bush over here. I have no idea what it is, but we're just going to do that. Okay, don't do too much of this. We're putzing now. Let's don't putz. Okay, let's come over here. There's always utility lights, yard lights on farms and stuff. As you can see, I did away with the chimney going up there. If I'd have put the chimney up, it would have been correct interpretation of what I see. But if I leave it out, look at that wonderful white I'm going to get. And that's what I'm after. I'm not after the exact representation. I'm after something that I can say is mine. Okay. And like I say, you know, there's always yard lights, and you can just do that. There's always telephone poles. You see them all the way across the landscape. You know, we can always put a telephone pole. Let's put it right here. And put a telephone pole there. Okay, we can put another one out here. See, just have some fun with this, okay? We can run one there. And also, too, what we can do now is let's design this to where the viewing public has to come over here and move in like that, kind of like what we have here, okay? So basically, the way you can do that, a simple way I found to do that, is to say, okay, here's a fence post here. We can put another one there. And I think one more. What if I go over here like that? Okay, cool. Now, the viewing public won't jump over this. They'll come up the path of least resistance, and they'll go in there. Ah, here we go. Make up little stories when you're doing this. Okay, let's put some more of those up in there. Maybe if we can put a couple darks in there so that shows. Okay, and let's just leave it alone. Okay, now what we need to do here, we can do two things now, and I think what I want to do is I just want to put a light source on it at this time. Okay, always before I'd get a little ahead of myself, and I'm trying to teach myself to have patience when I paint these things. You know, I paint them very quickly, but here once again, I need to be patient. You can't force anything in painting. If you do, it'll sure show it. Okay, now watch this. As I did earlier, what we're going to do here is when we put our light source on, this becomes a glaze. We're going to glaze over some of this paint that we have here. And we're going to have our light source coming this way as it was here, as you can see on my sketch. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to have all this paint that's on the page, I have to have it dry. And I have to clean my palette, and I have to get fresh water. This is the secret to my glazing for the light source. Right here. That little cheap Joe water container works great for that. Okay. Okay, I will come back here and I'll use the big brush to bring the water over. I had some green in that, but that'll be okay. I'll just add some cobalt blue to it. And permanent rose. I found those two combinations will give you the most transparent light source. I do not need any more color on here. Okay. The color is, you know, I have more in the color than I need, so what I need is I need a neutral. I need to push some areas back, and the way you do that is by using this. Okay. I equate this to putting frosting on the cake. You spent the time to build your structure here. I have some wonderful, magnificent whites. Now look at the darks on those clouds. Now I need to hurry up and do this, and then I can get over there. Okay, I will go back to the little 1/2 inch, because what I want is I want to do somewhat of a fine job down here and around here. Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, let's get all this stuff out of the way here and over to there, and we'll do that. Okay, okay. Watch this. See, now that I've wasted all this time, that that whole thing there, and then let's run the shadow here like that. See how that works? Let's cover that up. Let's cover this up. And okay, there's an offset between here and there, so we need to come down here like that, and that goes out like that. Like that. This would throw a shadow there off the top of that roof. This would cast a shadow there. And this whole end of this roof is in shadow there. Okay, that would throw it over here like that. Okay, like that to there. These little areas here, you want to put a little of that on there. But look at how that's starting to really shine there. Okay, the less I do to that, the better it's going to be. So just leave it alone. Okay, coming over here, if there's a shadow here, well, 9 times out of 10 there'll be a shadow here. It's that repetition I was telling you about. Okay, okay. Now, if I'm looking there and I see that we can come over here now and come over there like that, there, I don't like that there, but I can break that up like that. See, and I don't like that, so let's run that in there like that. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. Okay, over here on this barn, I didn't want to do too much of this barn. I did not want to steal all the thunder from over here. See, let's just do that. And I will tell you right now, you start tweaking an area, you better be careful, because you'll have to keep tweaking it. Okay, okay, just leave it alone. Moving on. Now see that little shape there? That could be another little barn, another little outbuilding. Don't ever dismiss something like that. See, oh yeah, look at how nice that works now. Okay, this will be a dark underneath here and there, so just put that in like that and over here like that. Okay, just work yourself out. Now coming down to here. Okay, this will take this here and it'll go down like this, come over here. Now what I want to do here is I want to have a shadow. Let's just get rid of that. Oh, that's much better. See how that works now? Let's bring that over and down, and that tells the viewing public that there's something throwing a shadow out here like that. Okay, and what in essence what it does is it gets rid of all that color, and we're directing the viewer's eye up into there. Okay, let's do the same here. Let's run that over like that. Okay, okay, and this here, let's just bring that. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, what we're doing is we're editing. We're editing areas that we want to push back in the painting. Let's do this. Here we go. Just throw that on there like that. Ooh, I think I got something pretty cool here. Now right here, here we go. Right here, there'd be a shadow just right there. And that's what that'll be right there, okay? Okay, let's get rid of that to there. Okay, now, let's finish this off. It's looking really good. When I keep them simple and fast, you don't get the exact representation. You get these little areas that I'd never buy that house the way it looks there, but I can sure paint it. That's not a problem. Okay, coming up here. What I like to do here is I like to get that there, and I add just straight water to that shadow mixture that I had. I don't want it the same intensity here, because here I was going over an area of color. Up here I'm going over the white paper. So it has to be lighter in value. Your values are your lights and your darks, going back to our sketches here, okay? So come up here and go, okay, I want to remember that I need to add a little bit of that to it, okay? Yeah, here we go. I want to bring that down. Remember what I said about, let's just bring that down to there. Remember what I said about closing our corners up. We don't need all that white up there, because the viewer's eye will be pulled off the page if we do that. So just bring that down, and there we go, just like that. And now we can look up. I want, not the way it is now, but I want to make up a very nice combination as it's coming down here like this, okay? Up here like that, coming down here. Oop, there was a drip. We could always blame that on the birds. We can always come over here, and then here we go. We'll just continue this on around here like this, okay? And let's go up over here, and let's just, there, oh yeah, here we go. Here we go, there we go. I think that'll work very nicely there. I think that we got a very nice little painting here. It's not the exact representation of out there, but I wasn't looking for that, okay? Let's pull that off there. Now, let's just do a few little details to it. I dropped there water. What you get out here, you'll get a lot of areas that you do not think are worthy of your effort here, of where you drip. See, there was a drip there. Don't worry about it, okay? Worry about the big stuff. Worry about that wonderful area here, okay? Now, see, as the atmospheric conditions change, the hill changes back here, okay? Now it's a darker color, but if I make it a darker color here, it's going to ruin it. And look here. Look what that did. It's raining, see? And look what that's doing there. That's fine. That tells you it was painted outdoors, okay? Okay, what we need to do next is we need to finish it up here. We need to come in here and we need to put our name on it. Right here. Okay, I've been signing my name in red for the past, couple years. Okay, look in an area of your painting that you would like to have a piece of paint. Your name's a piece of paint, so it becomes a design factor. Okay, and just sign your name there. Okay. One good thing about this is you don't even have to spell it right. Nobody will know. If you have any signature status, put it on. Okay. Now, as we did before, we need to use this for just a little bit of detail on this here. We need to put a window or two in it and something. I don't want to do too much because it really looks nice. Okay. We can go there, and we can go there, and we can go there. Okay. See how that does that? And we will put a dark window here. And we can put a couple darks in there. And we can a dark up here. Yeah. Okay. And how about a couple right in here? Like that. Don't overdo it.